Yeah.
These are not figured out all the types of cards, but into these. Okay. Cards with the red on the side are offensive cards.
Okay.
And these are when it is your phase, you will be playing these to either maneuver to improve your position versus the enemy. And that's represented by, we have an element consisting of a leader and a wingman, which are so labeled. And the relative position between a friendly element and an enemy element is shown by their orientation. So we start a scenario at neutral position. Say the Buffaloes are the phasing player. Play a maneuvering card, and if the maneuvering card succeeds, get to that later, that improves the position by 1. So you go from neutral to position of advantage, and that's represented like this.
Okay.
You're starting to get on his tail. If you have a second maneuvering card, and it works, then you can get into the best position of all, which is tailing.
Okay.
The advantages of position of advantage and tailing is that you get more shots, represented by these in my sights cards. There's also a card called Out of the Sun, which is just another variation on in my sights, only it has fewer possible responses. We'll get to that later. Significant things about In My Sights is it has a number of bursts to the right of the In My Sights label, and that's how many bursts of your allowance is going to use up. On the aircraft counters, in red, you see a number labeled bursts.
Okay.
So that's your basic number of bursts. So at neutral position, you can fire 1 burst worth of cards. So this Out of the Sun would be a playable card.
Okay.
This, however, is not playable yet. If you have an advantage position here, that adds 1 to your basic burst allowance. So now the Buffalo here would have 2 bursts.
Okay.
And if you were tailing, it adds 3 to your burst allowance. And so you would have a total of 4 bursts. And then, voila, this card becomes playable. Now, if the attack succeeds, then it will inflict that much damage that is shown down here. Now, I haven't talked about responses yet. In the blue box labeled response, this will tell you what the card can respond to. So in the tight turn, you can see this is a fairly versatile card. It can be used to defeat in my sights. So if you have, in this situation, use 3 of the 4 bursts to play in my sights, then there's the possibility of the target playing a response card out of their hand.
Okay.
So a tight turn would work against that, and then it goes back to the shooting player. You can play a response to a response. So they happen to have a scissors card out here. That's a possible response to a tight turn. So then so say the shooter has a scissors card, he plays that. So now the target player has to respond to the scissors. And I believe the only thing that can respond to a scissors is another scissors. Or there's the ultimate wild card in the deck, Ace Pilot, which can respond to anything. If I can just find it. I knew it was here. So the only thing that can respond to an Ace Pilot is another Ace Pilot.
So you can respond from played ace pilot. You can respond if you have an ace pilot.
Yes.
Okay. So.
And that's a response
Oh,
of any card.
right. Okay. Gotcha.
So that's how the back and forth works. And you can see that it isn't just shooting that tight turn can respond to, it can also respond to maneuvering.
Okay.
So the back and forth would be the phasing player plays maneuvering, the defender plays tight turn. If you don't have something that can respond to a tight turn, then you've canceled the maneuvering.
Okay.
Now, in a situation like this, say the 0 here is now being tailed. What he can do in his turn is that the maneuverings that improve his position by 1, maneuvering would improve to that, maneuvering would improve back to neutral. So it works the same deal. So I've mostly described the leader versus leader interplay. But with these wingmen, right, I'll describe how they work. In the sequence of play, phase 1 jettison decision, which will not come to play in this scenario because we have no bombs or drop tanks or anything to jettison. Then comes wingman attacks. And the way a wingman attack works is he has an offensive number and a defensive number. They're pretty simple. And depending on the various positions of advantage, the wingman can go against an enemy wingman or he can go against an enemy leader. That's your choice.
Okay.
And if he chooses his target, say he goes against the enemy leader, the number 1 is how many cards he draws off the deck for his mini hand. That would be his 1 card. And you just you play it if it's applicable. If it's a shot card, it doesn't matter how many bursts it has on it. Leaders or rather wingmen are not restricted regarding bursts. If it's a maneuvering card, it actually works as a maneuvering on behalf of the leader. A half loop is like a super maneuver. It improves your position by 2 instead of only 1. And the only possible response to it is an ace pilot. So in this situation, the half loop, unless the 0 leader has an ace pilot in his hand, he's going to wind up tailed. If you choose to attack as a wingman, and that's something a leader can do as well, then the wingman draws his defensive mini hand just like an offensive mini hand. And it can only be used to defend himself. So you draw red cards are basically worthless, you're looking for blue. And then conversely, blue cards are only useful in responding to red cards. Then the next part of the sequence of play is adjust altitude. Now, I haven't brought altitude into it yet, but all this interplay that I've been talking about, maneuvering against enemy elements, you can only do it if you're at the same altitude level. At the beginning of the scenario, both sides are going to decide secretly what altitude they wish to start at. So you just take these 2. There's very low to medium, which is no marker, to high to very high.
Okay.
So if I wanted to start the scenario at high, I would just kind of hold it out like this and then reveal it.
Okay.
If you want to start at medium, you got an empty hand. Now there's some on the other page, altitude effects are here. Medium is the default altitude. High, your capabilities start to go away. Very high, they go away quite a bit. And then when you're going to low and very low, then that improves. It will improve your horsepower. Just really good.
I was getting ready to say, would you ever start in a low position? Because most airplane games you always want to go high.
Right.
Yeah, it had some altitude to lose. Yeah, fights tend to start either high or medium. I think there's a rule against starting it very high anyway. You have to have a turbocharger. And none of these guys have that.
B2 rocket.
Yes. And I'm realizing that I haven't even described all the numbers on this thing yet. I'll get into the altitude effects on that in good time. Now, just altitude simply means I decide I'm going to either descend one level, and if I descend one level, I get to draw one card off the deck immediately, the extra energy that I gain. If I decide to climb one level, I have to discard one card out of my hand for the energy loss. Then you come to play cards or disengage. In a dogfight scenario, you almost never see disengagement. More of a campaign thing. But once again, you're playing cards only against enemies that are at the same level as you. Discard. This is your opportunity to discard as many cards as you like. And the reason you might want to do that is because you have a hand limit. Every pair of airplanes, leader and wing, has its own hand of cards. So if you were playing with more than one element of aircraft, then you have to keep track of each hand.
Okay.
The number 5 in performance, right? That tells you your maximum hand size.
Okay.
That's going to be the hand size you start the scenario with, but that can get depleted. Now, the draw, that's your blue horsepower number. That's how many cards you draw. And you can see the 0 has a significant performance advantage over the Buffalo. Now, where altitude comes in is when you're at high level, that subtracts 1 from your horsepower. Okay. And if you're at low or very low, then it adds 1 to your horsepower. Wingmen are affected by altitude as well. If you're at high, it subtracts 1 from the wingman's defensive rating. If you're very high, the wingman loses 1 from both their offensive and defensive ratings. I realized I was missing something. When one element has an advantage or a tail over another one, then that will affect the change altitude step. So say that the zeros are now acting, and 0 chooses to descend 1 level. What's going to happen is 0 leader will draw 1 card off the deck for that, and because this guy has an advantage on him, he can choose to maintain his advantage by following him on that descent. And the way that works is if you're merely advantaged, you discard a card from your hand, and you get to draw a card off the deck. If you're tailing, then it's free. You merely draw a card off the deck, just like the guy you're following. Let's see that. I think we have enough information to start playing.
Sure. Try and see what happens.
Yeah. There are 6 turns in a dogfight scenario.
Let's see. So,
Yes.